What?
Oh, getting you emotional?
I'm getting emotional. I'm not trying to get emotional,
No,
but
it's fine. That's
yeah. I'm genuinely like happy for her, you know?
Hey, what's poppin', YouTube? It's your boy KiteZz here with my lovely wife. It's just Alex.
What's up, peoples?
Hey, today BM talks to him. Plus tonight we recorded Flock Talk yesterday. It was a wonderful live stream. Shout out to everybody that came. It will be uploaded tonight as well. All right, let's do it. Let's not waste no more time. Don't forget to like their video. Always like videos, man. It's good behavior. I forgot to say, today it's an exclusive interview with Sativa from Pop the Balloon, the lady that had all the piercings and stuff.
Artificial sugar?
Artificial sweetener.
All right, welcome back to BM Talk to Them. So today we actually have Sativa joining us.
Hey,
welcome.
girl, hey.
Hi.
Welcome in.
How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Good,
Good,
doing
we're
really good.
So Sativa, obviously you actually went viral, you know, quite a bit.
Yeah, we had you on episode 31
Episode
of
31.
Pop the Balloon or Find Love.
Right. And how was your experience on the show so far?
Yeah.
It was cool. All the girls were super nice. Just the whole experience was pretty smooth. And after, I'm not gonna lie, it was really fun. I don't know if you guys saw, but like we had went out to this Mexican restaurant, so it was just really nice to make connections with the other girls and stuff like that. But yeah, it was.
Oh.
I think that might be a Native American type of.
I wasn't even looking at the tattoos.
Oh, what were you looking at?
The dream catchers.
Oh yeah, shoot. Hey, Christians, to my Christian people, do not have these. Get rid of these.
It was a great experience. Nothing bad.
Yeah, so good. So, like he said, your clip on Instagram went pretty viral. I think when we were talking off camera a little bit, you mentioned it's at like 5 million now.
Yeah.
That's insane. And girl, that's all because you are like just a walking viral moment, if we're really being honest. Like,
yeah, I guess my whole
from the
existence.
piercings,
Yeah.
the tattoos, like I don't even know where to start.
I know, and I always tell people it's a lot. I know it's a lot, but it's just a part of who I am. It's part of my journey, and it's just like our journeys just look different, and that's just what I try to tell people. What's right for me may not be right for you, and vice versa. So
Respectable.
Yeah. I think first things first though, there were a lot of comments like Sativa, really? Is that her name? Go ahead and clear the air. Is that your real name?
Yes, that is my given name at birth. So, my mom actually had got pregnant at 14 and had me when she was 15. And she just she says she thought it was really pretty. And it's actually, it's funny. I didn't even know what my name was, like how it's a type of marijuana. Like I didn't know that until I was in middle school, and it was because these boys were singing the Afro Man song because I got high. That was how I figured out what my name.
Dang.
Oh. Kids are bullies, bro. Kids are bullies. Get
Because
your
I
kids,
got
man.
high.
Who does that?
Dang. All right. Well, unfortunate. That's how she found out, but it is what it is.
Bunch of bullies.
Name was. I went home crying, just I was devastated. I was like, I'm never going by the Sativa again. I went. Look, I even changed my name at one point. I've had.
Dang. Yeah, that sounds like a accurate origin story. That's unfortunate you found out that way, but hey man, at the end of the day, if that's the name God gave you, just because a strain of weed has it doesn't mean that the value of your name is inducted to that strain of weed.
Mm-hmm.
Had a lot of turmoil with my name because people think it's either fake, it's for fun. I changed it. I'm like, no, my mom predestined me to be everything that this is
Today. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah,
Okay.
no, my mom was just a young mom and from California. So
Oh,
Oh,
dang. All right, we gotta hold that one. That's unfortunate. Dang it. Yeah, we gotta hold that one. We apologize. Uh, I blame Snoop Dogg. I blame Snoop Dogg because weed culture got amplified with him. I blame Snoop.
really? You
She
think that?
said, yeah, I feel like NWA and all that. I mean, it was already bad before, but it was never on a glorified platform, like besides like Cheech and Chong and stuff like that. But Snoop Dogg definitely when you think of weed, what rapper do you think of when you think of weed?
First, when I think of it, I think of um all the Earth lovers.
No, I said rapper. When
Oh,
you
I
think
don't
of a
think
rapper, when you think of weed, what musician do you think of? There's only two I think of.
Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa.
I think of Snoop Dogg, Bob Marley, and then Wiz
Yeah.
Khalifa third.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think of anybody else.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Does
Okay.
it?
So what made you want to come on Pop the Balloon?
And Lil
and
Wayne.
Find Love?
Ooh, good question.
well, one, I'm not gonna lie, like I have watched the show a lot, and what I really, really liked was how people kind of had an opportunity to be in front of people that they, in other terms, like wouldn't be put in front of. And I just thought it would like, what would be the chances that I meet someone who actually isn't like taken aback by my appearance, you know? Especially because for me, dating has always been difficult. Like, once I got a little extra. I feel like people kind of have their own like view of me and stigma of me before I even have a chance to really like express myself or even have any sort of like conversation past how I look and stuff. So I just was looking kind of like for that kind of opportunity to be able to, I don't want to say plead my case, but almost
Mhm.
just be able to show like I'm so much more than how I look, you know? And I feel like your guys' show is exactly that. You're putting people in front of people that in other ways would never have met each other. So,
Right.
yeah.
I feel that it's kind of weird hearing that though, in her case, because she has such a big social media following. So when I hear people who have like really, really, really big platforms, I know people don't date their fans, but the type of content she's putting out, those are all people who unfortunately lustfully are attracted to you. So I imagine that in every 100,000 dudes that are following you, there's gonna be like at least 1,000 dudes that would consider you somebody that they would wife up. So it's like I don't know. That's kind of weird to me.
I mean,
You feel me? Like imagine Rihanna saying like it's hard to find a guy that just wants me for me. It's like you got millions of dudes that are like obsessed with you.
you only get to see what I show you, so you don't know me completely.
Right.
So it's like they want me for the things that they see on the outer surface, but like things that you don't get to see outside of social media, people typically wouldn't care for or want. So
But then again, there's you also have those fans that they're so infatuated with the person, they know everything about the person.
yeah,
You
that's
get-
yeah, that's
No, we're not taking it to stalkers because I feel like there's a fine line with being people that really just love an artist and they love like their biopics and they love like the stuff like the small facts about them versus people that are like I need to know where she's sleeping at 12:35 p.m. Like you get me? So I think there's a fine line between that. What were you saying?
no, I forgot anyway. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you said that dating has been difficult for you, right? Now,
Complicated.
obviously, so obviously the way that obviously you look right now is, would you say that is it easy for you to for guys to approach you, or do you think they're intimidated by how you look?
I would say it's kind of a mix. I feel like I get approached a lot. Um, but I also don't get approached sometimes. It kind of like depends on the setting, you know?
Okay.
I would say at the gym, I get approached a lot. A lot. Let's see. But like I don't really go clubbing. I don't really do a lot of social things, so I almost don't have a lot of opportunities for people to really even see me and engage with me fully, except really at the gym. So,
Mm.
um but yeah, I would say people approach me thinking I'm going to be one way. And then after they hear me talk and hear like I'm super smart, I'm like really creative, like I can do these, I'm telling you, these hands got talent. But yeah, so I don't know if that necessarily answers your question. It's kind of like I think people most of the time in real life, like obviously online it's different, but a lot of the times in real life, people aren't as taken aback by my appearance, and if they are shocked by how I look, they it usually comes with a compliment. I haven't really gotten a lot of like backlash in real life, if that makes sense. But I will say this, people tend to think I'm not a professional, like unless once I say I do tattoos, they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But sometimes people have their own idea of what I may do.
I can't imagine. I wouldn't imagine walking into a bank to get a loan and you were my loan officer. That's 100%. I would be kind of like, huh? You feel me? Just like I wouldn't expect my real estate agent to come in with a Yakuza Black Dragon tattoo from his neck all the way to his spine, and he wearing nothing but crop tops. So I see the tattoo. I wouldn't imagine him to be a great realtor either. But when you say tattoo artist, it's like, okay. And it's not a jab at tattoo artists. It's just I know that you guys is tattoo artists for the most part, their creativity is kind of like there's no limits to their creativity. And I know that a lot of them, from what I've seen or talked to, they they have a lot of creative impulses. So they'll be like, one day they'll be sleeping and they'll be like, dude, I want to tattoo a koi fish, but I don't have somebody to try this on. I'll try it on myself. And they'll do it on themselves and it'll be the perfect koi fish. Shout out to them. So it's understandable when you say I'm a tattoo artist, how people can put it together, but you're not receiving a lot of like crazy backlash from it because we're in the era now where social media has kind of like shown this whole world of people who are heavy tattoos, heavy piercings. Goth and emo chicks have went through the roof in stocks. Everybody wants one. Look at Rhea Ripley. She basically set the tone for a lot of people and probably people before that. So piercings and stuff they're not as big of a deal as they were back in like 2004, 2005. Now, what people will say is if there's an obsessive amount, but other than that, like people get over this stuff pretty fast. Like even out here in Cali, dude, this is not uncommon. There was kids in our high school that used to have the freaking bar that went from their cheek to all the way to the other cheek. And it was just like, it is what it is. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
So, and I talk a lot, so I'm just prepping y'all. I talk a lot.
When I called you, you were surprised that you
We're selected.
that you were selected.
I
Why was you surprised?
Just because, I mean, I feel like a lot of the people on the show kind of look a certain way. I think that they all look different in their own way, but it's still kind of like a similar aesthetic. I think maybe I've seen a couple girls that still kind of had more of the tattoos, more a little bit of like that alternative. I forgot her name, but there's one that's coming to mind specifically. Like she would pop her own balloon every time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
What's
She
her
was like an
name?
exotic
Luna or something like
dancer,
that?
but only did that.
Oh,
It's like Luna Star or something. I could be wrong.
They talk about the white dress and
Yeah.
yeah, she was cooked.
Like,
Zola.
No,
Oh,
yeah, there are
oh.
two.
Shoma Zola. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Because she had the tattoo on her face as well.
Yeah, the little one. It was so cute. But so like, yeah, I just didn't think I feel like that there are a lot of like professional people that go on there, like the lawyers, the doctors, the dental assistants, things like that. I've never heard of. I mean, I guess you guys get rappers sometimes and clothing lines, things like that, but I hadn't really seen like a super. I don't even want to say super hardcore, but very more unorthodox people, but who still have like a profession. Like, I still consider myself a professional. It's just I draw on people and canvases. it's just
Yeah.
And
it's just a
technically,
different type.
go ahead.
No, I was just saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and technically, that is a profession. Like that, tattoo artist is a profession. So it's like at the end of the day, just like we put the same category as musicians and artists and yeah, seamstress, all that stuff.
Anything that requires skill,
Yeah.
talent, hours of work, practice, whatever, and you have to get licenses and all that kind of stuff. Profession, and you have to perform in a professional manner and stuff. You wouldn't go get a tattoo in a back alley.
Yep.
You'll go to a tattoo parlor.
Mhm.
Some people would, but there's consequences to that.
Yep. Especially if you, lady, if you went back in time and you went back to the Viking era, they would have been obsessing over you. You would have been you would have never stopped having business. They love them tattoos.
So,
Yeah. So you ended up popping on, I would say mostly everyone except for one. So what is your type? Like, let's start with physically.
oh man.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've dated black guys most of my life. Like,
Mhm.
definitely a majority. I've dated black men. But I don't know if they're really fully my type, so I might have like a hidden bias, if that makes sense. I'm about to
Okay.
get dragged.
Uh-oh.
But I do like white guys more. I think white guys are kind of more my type.
Understandable.
Mhm.
But if white guys are your type, why did you come on? Why did you come on pretty much the blackest of black, pop the balloons, bruh? This is the more African American, traditional West African, like Jamaican, all that. Like
They've had white guys. And other ethnicities.
they've had
on the
mixed
show.
guys.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I'm not getting into the technicalities.
yeah. It's because they still black. We don't hold.
I don't
But
know what they are.
I think the closest thing. Oh, well,
I'm
respect.
just saying, I don't
No,
know
I
what
respect.
they are.
This is predominantly a black pop the balloon, like predominantly. Like the ratio's got to be like 95% have been black. So it's like there's other pop the balloons for other cultures. You feel what I'm saying?
Is this
Like,
as of recent or
yes,
is it always
as of recent. Yes.
okay?
Yes. So
Why is that?
Yeah, why did it change? What's caused the shift?
oh my god.
Uh-oh.
I dated a white guy, and it was just honestly, he treated me like I've never been treated before. So
Oh.
yeah, and then like it's just I kind of liked it, was into that, and now I just kind of like that. But and I know on the show you guys don't ever really have like white guys and people on there, but which is fine. I'm not against like dating black men. I would just say my actual particular type at this stage in my life, like currently, is definitely like white country, like blue collar, hands on, guns
She want her
type
adulting.
of stuff. So
Yeah. She want her adulting. Go ahead, girl. Yeah.
Dang, we got black cowboys now. We
Yeah,
done
we've
took
always
over.
had-
We
we
done
got-
took over Google. Let's do it, brothers.
No, we got-
It's ours now.
You ever heard of the Compton Cowboys?
Yeah, I have. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like on Google, we pop up. We the first image. We done took over black culture. Let's do it. She need. They not happy about this. She need her one of these. Get you, not you. She don't want you. Get you.
Why would you do them like that?
She don't want him. She want him. But we still got to give you one of these. We don't approve of you. So
We don't even know what Okay.
She just said she want white boys. Dr. Umar would not approve.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna keep that image there just to remind you. Shame on you.
Okay.
No real shame. Just trolling you.
That's crazy.
So
Wow.
so let me ask you a question. So looking at this show, why did you think that?
You would find your type there, right?
Right.
I still like black guys. Like, it's not like I'm against dating black guys. It's just like, say if I was like walking.
This is Yap, by the way. This is why she came on the show. You see that? This not even Arlette main page. That's why she came on the show though.
Yeah, Arlette has like almost 700,000
Yeah,
now.
let me tell you why she chose your show, BM. Like, cause it's like people are never gonna actually say what it is. People gonna cap on their raps for the rest of their life. This is why she came on your show. See that?
She's at 700,000?
Yep, congratulations. This is why. You see that 1 million? That 1.6 million? That's why she came on.
Hey, that's us.
Where we at?
All those videos up there.
Hey man, we out here. See that 6.8? That's why she came on your show. 1.5, 1.8. If this number wasn't this number, she would not be here because
that's
you.
all of our shorts too.
Yep. Because you want to know. You don't want to know. Pop the balloon.
Arizona.
Arlette got that on lock, right? But she also could have went to Pop the Balloon, Kentucky.
That's crazy. She could have went to Cali.
She could have went to Kentucky, but you see that how that's a 29? Nobody wants to do that. Pop the Balloon, California.
And that's still good.
Yeah, no, these are great. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
You see that? She could have went to the Pop the Balloons in California. She didn't want that because look at the number. She could have went to Pop the Balloon, Detroit.
Oh, Lord.
This is a jab at Ish. But she didn't want that either. You see 67?
Is that Skimbo? Who's that?
I don't know.
Why they all look the same?
They all look the same. But you see, dude, you could even did, unfortunately. She could have went to this.
Oh, they got more. Is that sketch?
Yep. She could have went to this Pop the Balloon if she wanted a Caucasian. But let's keep it a stack. That's not. She came.
Sketch is funny, bro.
She would have been better off here. But she came because at the end of the day, you guys are circulating trending. It's not about she wanted to give it a shot and all that. No, it's because y'all are popular in the black culture. That's why she came over here. Even though none of her type was
I
black.
might look at the white guy in a trucker hat first, you know, but I'm not against dating black men or anything like that. And again, the white guy thing is definitely a more recent thing. Yeah, I guess that's just what it is. But I don't really think that deep into it. So it's not like I'm like die hard white guy or die hard black. It's kind of like I've just been thinking the white men look good. But they're still, black men are still handsome. They're still attractive. They still have a lot to offer. Nothing really takes away from that. So I guess that would be my answer for that. That I wasn't like, oh, they're not going to have a white guy, so I'm not going to like, it's just, if I matched, I matched. If I didn't, I didn't. So
when you came on the show, say for instance, you come on the show and you match with a black guy, right? Would you say that you are willing to make it work fully because knowing that they're not really like your typical type right now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, at the end of the day, it's how we connect and kind of that vibe and our interests and stuff like that. And I think a lot of my interests just haven't aligned with a lot of the black guys that I've dated. I think it's kind of like that simple for me in that regard. But yeah, like if I would have matched with someone and our interests aligned, like the skin tone isn't going to deter me from that, It's just more so I guess I just like white guys.
Just like the person. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it's still the quality of character trumps.
She said a specific white
any
guy,
of that.
though.
Yeah.
She said country.
I wonder if they already eating her up in here. Let's see. Nope, they're not eating her up. She's making it. So yeah, she's probably not receiving the backlash that she expected by her comments. People in general like you, right? I just have that question of like, why not go to a white pop the balloon if you wanted white people? That's all. That's my only question. But it is what it is.
I mean,
That so
Okay.
yeah.
So, Sativa, you actually sent us some pictures of what you actually look like before.
Yes.
And I actually want to put some of these pictures up so everyone can see.
Go ahead.
So, as you can see, this is how she looked like before.
For the tattoos and the piercings
Oh
on the
gosh,
face.
the things people.
So, yeah, this is how
wow.
she looked. Now, I want to ask you, right?
She's still gorgeous either way. Like, she's still really pretty. But people go through phases in their life. Sometimes, and sometimes those phases look different than what people would expect for them to go through. But no, like the bare face was really good on you.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. I don't understand what's
What?
it sounds like you about to laugh. What's up?
No, I'm just saying this is one of those situations where it's like, you ever see somebody paint like a really good picture,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, this is a great picture. You should hang this up on your fridge. And then they look at the picture and they're like, yeah, but it needs some blotches over here. And it's
Yeah.
like, and they overdo it.
They overdo it.
Yeah. This is
yeah.
a case. And you know what? At the end of the day, I respect her opinion. This is just my opinion. My opinion. This is not.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I felt like this was something that she would have been perfectly fine in the dating game if she would have just stayed like this.
Mm-hmm.
This was a nerf to herself.
Yeah, and even still, like, even if she removed like some of the like major like the dimple piercings, okay, people can get over that. The eyebrow piercings, people can get over it. But I think like the bridge, like in her nose and stuff, I think if she would get rid of that, and I mean, people ain't seen the tongue until they see the tongue, but
Yeah.
you know.
Oh well. I mean, at the end of the
She
day,
looks
as
beautiful
long
both
as
ways.
she's happy with how she's living, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What made you get into this type of stuff? Like, you know, the piercings, the tattoos all over your body. Like, what made you really get deep into it?
I think my reasoning has kind of changed over time. Which is kind of like a trip to me, and I think that's just a part of just how we grow. I think our intention changes. But it really all started when I actually started to tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked for like I've had like a variety of different type of jobs, but the most recent job I had, but like before I started tattooing, I had got fired because I was just like too much. That's what she said. Like I was wanting a whole art wall, getting paintings donated. I just was doing too much for what she was trying to do. So I got fired from that job. And I told myself, I was like, well, I'll just never work for anyone again. And I just door dashed. So I was like, as long as I make $30 to $50 a day, I'm good. And then I was like, wait, I could draw logos for people, you know? So then I started to do just like $50 logos. And then one day I was like door dashing, and there was just tattoos, hardcore. And I was like, I'm just going to try. I'm just going to try it, see what happens. And then I just like, my whole life changed, you know? Like, I was never broke again. I really have been on a self-healing journey just from a lot of what my life has been. And I know that may sound like I'm saying I got the tattoos out of trauma, but I honestly got tatted and pierced up in my most healed point, you know? And honestly, I had pictures of like girls who had piercings, tattoos, tongue splits, multicolored hair. Like I had tons of pictures in my phone growing up. You know, I just every time I dated someone, they wanted me to be like a certain type of look, and it just was never who I was. So once I actually became single and was on like more of my career and self exploration, I just realized that I am more expressive.
Right.
I am a little unorthodox. I am a little extreme. Um, but that's I guess that's what it is for me. But
Okay.
and also tattoos and piercings have been a part of like our history and ancestry in almost every type of ethnicity, from Black culture, African culture, to indigenous native culture, to even like Viking age. Like tattoos and adornments have been a representation of like status, and like whether you were a warrior, a general,
Yeah, she's not wrong.
medicine
She's not
man,
wrong.
or all those things are such huge representations. So I think it's actually kind of crazy the judgments that tattoos and adornments get, when these are like indigenous practices. These are things that, and I know, when even if people want to bring up the
I knew it. I felt it was coming.
People will always make comments about things they don't know or understand.
Yeah.
But even if they know or understand it, because people have their preferences and their opinions, there's always going to be an opposing, like, a conversation or argument for people that choose to do it. I do understand like where she's coming from, because when you're in that field of tattoos and all that kind of stuff, some tattoo artists have no tattoos and some have a whole bunch, and then some piercers have no piercings and some have a whole bunch. Like it is a form of an expression, but yeah.
So the point she's about to actually, I'll let her make the point, and then I'll give you guys. Yeah.
Bible when it comes to Leviticus, in the sense of like you can't worship other gods, like through scarification and things like that. Like that is completely different than what it is, the intention is that we use for it today, if that makes sense. So I don't know.
You guys, this is why you guys need to really understand. Yes, there is difference, but every symbol that you're putting on your body has some type of connection. You literally have a dragon. You have a dragon on your arm, right? What is this? That's literally the dragon is the symbol of Satan. It's literally, they talk about it in Revelations. He's gonna come out like a dragon, and Michael's gonna fight him. That's why we don't put dragons, we don't put serpents, we don't put snakes, because that symbolizes. You feel me? So it's just like,
and a lot of people have made like certain things really trendy, and they don't understand the meanings and the context behind a lot of these tattoos. They just get them because they're cute. Like when everybody was coming out with the Chinese characters on their arms, or what else was they get, like the yin and yang symbol and all that kind of stuff. It was a lot of stuff that people was putting on their bodies that they have context and meanings behind them. So yeah, technically you can be serving other deities through your body, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally. But the fact that you didn't take the time to research it yourself and stuff like that, you can expose yourself to a lot of things.
I don't know if that was a good answer, but I could talk about it forever. So yeah.
So do you feel like the tattoos and the piercings, like that's you? You're not hiding behind anything?
No. Yeah, this is just who I am. I'm just
Okay.
I'm different. It's not like I even hold on to the piercings as if it's just like the biggest shield. I literally took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I took out 5 piercings recently out of my face. Before the show, I had more piercings, but I took them out.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's not like it's just like I need this in my life. It's just I like it. If I feel like it doesn't serve me how I need it to serve me, in the sense, if I don't like it, I let it go. If it's inconvenient, I let it go. It's I guess it's deep, but not that deep.
Like, I want to ask you, like, do you feel pain?
Like
Yeah, I feel pain. I think that I process pain differently. So like, and like on like a biological level. So like what hurts for me it takes a lot for me to want to say ouch. Does that make sense?
You have a high
So
pain
like
tolerance.
Yeah.
even my 4 eyebrow rings, 4 eyebrow piercings,
Mhm.
I got them done at the same time.
So you have a high pain tolerance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably like above average. Yeah, for
Oh
sure.
gosh.
I got like
Okay.
a 6 hour rib tattoo. Yeah, and there's people who can handle even more than that. Like,
What
Yeah.
led to the tongue split? You know, that moment that went
oh,
viral all over the internet. Everybody saw it, you know, showed it to people. They're like,
Serpent's tongue.
like everyone, I feel like had the same reaction when they saw you stick your tongue out and it just went in two different ways. So
yeah.
what led to that?
I honestly just saw it on the reels, and I was like, "Oh, that shit is sick. I want it."
You don't even know what you just did
Yeah,
to yourself.
and this is why I was trying to make the point that you guys sit there and try to find like scapegoats on like or like loopholes around what the Bible is saying because she's a proclaiming Christian. So when she's trying to bring up like, oh, Levitical wasn't saying this and blah blah blah, but then in that same conversation, you just admitted that you just did something out of impulse. You didn't even understand what you were doing it about. Now, I was gonna make this point earlier, about oh, this is something that we did as indigenous and this is customs that we practice. Yes, there were things that we practiced back in the day, but there is a reason why the Bible and God told us to stop doing it, right? Every culture had something that we had to stop doing and we didn't transfer over, right? Let's talk about the fact that, dude, Canaanites sacrificed children, right? They sacrificed children into what we call nowadays, we call the hand of God, which is it's a metal hand that melts objects that they heat up. Canaanites sacrifice children to that. We don't do that custom. Well, technically we do. It's called abortion now, but y'all don't want to hear that conversation. The whole there we don't punish people by skinning people anymore. We don't put hooks in people's backs as symbolization for how old they're getting. We don't do like there's customs that we don't do. We don't make our children go hunt something to prove that they're a man in this adult era anymore. Even though some customs do, we don't do that as a whole anymore. There's certain I wouldn't even say bad because at the time, that's what they were doing at that time. But as we got older and we realized how it was affecting things, there's stuff we don't do. Even when it comes down to modern medicine nowadays. We used to think even the Christian practices of like the Catholicism and all that, plague doctors and stuff like that, we thought leeches were the solution to every medical problem. Oh, you got a fever? Here's a leech. You got a cut on your arm? Here's a leech. You know, your period just started? Here's a leech. We gave leeches for everything because at that time in that custom, we knew leeches sucked blood. And for some parts, it did work. But for a lot of parts, you just had a leech on somebody's arm until they died. You get me? There's things, just because they did it back in the day does not make it right to do it now.
Yeah, the world has evolved.
Back in the day, you could get arranged marriage. You can be arranged marriage at the age of 11 before you even had, or as soon as you started your cycle, you could be wedded off. We don't do that now because there's damage that comes from that. So the Bible had us stop a lot of these things for a reason. You don't know what you're like. You have symbolization on your body, and you can know a Google definition of what that symbology is. But if you look into the word and the word talks about these things, the word of God talks about these things as a Christian, you will know there's a lot of stuff you shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
There's cults to this day that had come from like the olden eras that they were dedicated. Their symbology was piercings. They had piercings. That's how they knew who was a part of their cult. So it's like you don't know everything about everything. So you have to be careful, especially as you're practicing your faith and you're realizing there's things that we just don't do.
Yeah, you just gotta pray and hopefully she gets her tongue stitched back, because the name of the procedure and the piercing itself is bad.
Yeah.
So you didn't even like process it for long. You just saw and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go do it.
So you have to book it really far in advance. So I
Okay.
like was seeing it, and the thing is, I had like again, I had seen it when I was younger. It was something like I thought was cool, but it's not like it was like I specifically want that, right?
Okay.
Until because I've only had it for like I got it done in like August.
So you recently
Oh.
did this.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
it's
only a few months.
yeah. Uh-huh. It heals really fast.
I feel
7
like
days.
BM want to say something, but he holding back.
And I
You've
took the
only
stitches out myself. I do have a video of that too.
When I asked you, do you feel pain? I meant like, do you still feel pain? Like, because obviously you have a
Oh.
lot going on.
Oh no. Mm-mm. I would say just my cheek piercings, and that's because the cheeks take like a year to heal. So I'm actually, you guys probably can't tell. You guys don't see me enough to know, but like my cheeks are currently swollen, and it was super swollen a couple days ago. Like it was, but so the cheek piercings get annoying because again they take a whole year to be healed, and sometimes even longer, just because you move your jaw so much. But as far as like my tongue, no, I can move it. I can eat. I can talk. I did have a lisp really bad. Like it was like it was pretty bad.
So how did that go away?
It just went away over time. I just got used to talking with it. Yeah.
So like when you're eating, is like food falling in between your tongue or
That's
Oh
funny.
gosh.
Right, I don't know. How
I
does
don't
that work?
know.
You know?
Like
So not all the time, but like if sometimes like if I'm eating vegetables, like a
uh
pea might fall in between, and then
oh
I can
my.
like scoop it out.
Oh.
Oh no.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So obviously that's a new experience for most people. Was
hmm
you not weirded out yourself? Like, was you not like? Did you not find it weird?
Seeing that?
Uh, man, let me tell you, I should have sent you guys some pictures of the process because that
Oh no, I
was
don't think
something.
anybody.
No,
I don't.
seriously, that was something else. Like that was like a whole another thing in its own. And then I couldn't eat for 7 days. So I had literally lost like 7 pounds, no,
Oh.
10 pounds. Like I was,
Wow.
people who saw me, they were like, "Are you okay?" And I still had stitches and I was like trying to express, like, I haven't eaten for a
Mm.
week. Like
So
I'm
you're doing what, like
dying.
drinking smoothies?
So I had to literally use a syringe, pull water out, and shoot it to the back of my throat. And even then, like it wasn't enough. When I tell you I was so thirsty and so hungry, like that was probably the worst part. But the
It's really crazy how when you hear it, it's like you self inflicted suffering on yourself for the sake of just doing something that you saw on like on a cell phone. Like nothing in your life was saying you needed to do this. Nobody in your circle was saying you needed to do this. You literally saw somebody and was like, "Oh, that's cool," and you inflicted all this suffering on yourself.
Yeah, some people are willing to go through the pain to get whatever they want in life. So no matter how big or small.
It's just, hey man,
pain wise, again, like some girls say that that was the worst pain they ever experienced, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I still felt worse. So
Oh my goodness.
Was it worth it?
It's funny, bro.
yeah, I mean, I guess like what am I comparing the worth to? Does that make sense? Like what like how do I add, like what's the value? Like
No, I mean
Like
I'm
would you
talking
do
about
it
like,
again?
is it worth it in terms of obviously you couldn't eat, for
oh,
days
oh,
and
oh,
all of
yeah,
that.
for sure. No, I love it. It's like one of my favorite body modifications, honestly. When I'm in the gym, it gets crazy.
Oh
Oh.
wow. I need to
I do seek it out when I'm working out. I do. I do. Especially when I'm going like real hard and it's getting
Uh-huh.
difficult. I'm like, yeah, ton has to come out. I got to get my like power up, my
Okay.
recharge.
Got it. So on the show, you mentioned to one of the gentlemen that you're trying to go towards a different path in life.
Yeah.
Talk us through that. What is this path you're trying to
Okay.
go towards, and what brought you to this point?
Yeah. Okay. So I think that our sanctification with Christ just it's a constant journey.
mm-hmm.
And I just I guess the best way to relate myself to that is I'm a work in progress. There's a lot of things that I'm working on since that I've truly found God and stuff. And that includes like I've been trying to um, a lot of the stuff that I used to paint was highly inappropriate, but for very specific reasons. You know, art is very subjective. I think that, you know, what other people find funny may have been more so trauma or things that the artists have been through, but we use humor to express that. Um, but just with my journey with God, I've done a lot of healing. So a lot of the things that I was painting that was inappropriate humor, I don't feel that way anymore.
Okay.
You know, my heart feels different. I still, don't get me wrong, I've been like kind of recycling some of my paintings just for content and stuff, but a lot of the pieces I'm working on right now are
No, 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 no. What you felt was conviction, right? As you start getting that walk with Christ, you're gonna start having conviction about things that you did that your flesh desires, that you yourself, your spirit doesn't desire. So that conviction, that Holy Spirit is correcting you. If once you started your work with Christ, your walk with Christ, if that not safe for work content was something that you felt like you needed to move, get rid of all of it. Don't recycle it for content. Get rid of all of it. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna all it takes is just a foot in the door for you to go back. Right? Like we say in the Bible, the spirit of lust says run from it. Run from it, flee, right? Because it doesn't need to impact you directly. It just needs to have a little bit of space so it can do the damage that it needs to do. Okay? Well, and then like the Bible, like there's an expression that they say, when you open your door for one sin, 10 more sins come attached. Because they never come by themselves.
Nope.
So even though she probably would never watch this, to people that are in these things and you guys have been convicted about doing not safe for work content, but you guys are starting on that journey with Christ, trust that conviction and separate yourself from it. Start pulling away from it. Even me nowadays, even when it comes down to the gaming stuff, I've been having more and more conviction about some of the stuff I used to play. I don't even play the same stuff I used to play no more. Like, I'm still working on it because gaming is something I've always been in, but there's certain stuff that used to be so demonic, and I used to just be like, oh, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. I know it's fake, it's cool. And now I started to get away from it. Like, after I finished this Walking Dead stuff, like, I don't have an interest in doing like these zombie games and stuff like that. I don't have an interest in playing them. I don't have I'm just finishing it up, but you gotta get rid of it, all of it. We're throwing it all out. So we're in the same boat, but don't go back to it. We gotta start getting rid of it.
Don't leave the door open for temptations, because temptation will always win.
Yeah. So we right there with you, gang. So as somebody that's in your situation, well, not because we're not doing not so safe for work, but just dealing with things that the flesh wants in general. We're right there with you, friend, family. Do not go back to it. Don't go back to it.
Gotta go cold turkey.
very different than what I used to paint because I just feel different because of my journey with God. And honestly, when people say that God has made us in his image, what I think in that regard is our ability to be creative and relational. So it's like to create and to relate to others, you know, and it gives me goosebumps. Whoo, it gives me goosebumps talking about it. So, I forgot where exactly I was going with that, but so my point is that the best way for me to glorify God to the best of my ability as I'm through this journey is allowing my art to change with the way that my heart is changing.
Right.
Okay.
So, and the reason why I bring up how we are like God in the way that we're able to create, because that's what God did, is he created.
Right.
That is a huge characteristic of who God is. And and I love being able to explore what that looks like with the Holy Spirit's influence versus the pain and trauma influence that I had before
Right.
him. So there's that.
Like
Some of the tattoos that you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would just they a lot of them are kind of controversial.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
especially like you know, you say you found God. Some of these tattoos, do you want to explain some of them?
Yeah, is there specific ones, or do you want me to bring up the ones that I have off top that people may
Yeah, the ones
have?
that you
Yeah,
have
the one you
off
have
top.
up top. Yeah.
Okay, so I have one on my shin that is a Oni mask, which is
A
like
Japanese
it's
demon.
from, oh gosh, I don't want to get dragged through the comments for being wrong, but it's from like Japanese, Chinese culture. It's like a
Onis are Japanese demons. Their Oni mask is a symbolization of a Japanese demon. They wore the mask because it was used to warriors in battle would wear it to show like the fierceness or like to intimidate or to be like the presence of like you were like a demonic entity on the battlefield. That's what your strength was like. They're very cool looking, but the symbology of them is they were in some cases they used them to ward off other spirits. So they would wear the mask to scare off smaller spirits. But yeah, it's still it's a representation of a demon.
a demon that fights off other demons, something
Yeah.
like that. Which now with my knowledge of intention behind the way we're supposed to live and stuff, there are tattoos that I do want to cover up and change. I just haven't had an opportunity. I also do have one on my chest that has like a 5-pointed star.
Pentagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, not it's not the Star of David. It's like a
Pentagram.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's a 6-pointed star. But when I got this tattoo, when I did this one, I didn't know what it was. Like this was like 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't even know it was an alien. I
Is it
wasn't,
hexagram?
you know.
So
So
you
I actually
let
do-
so someone did that on you, or
No,
you did
no,
it
no,
on yourself and you didn't know what it was?
I did it on myself and I didn't know what it was.
So
Yep, and that's the prime example of like why y'all got to be careful. A lot of y'all don't know the symbology of what y'all are actually doing it. So it's like that's why when people were like, "Oh, the pentagram's not a spirit of, it's not for evil. It symbolizes the five elements of earth, water, blah blah blah." It's like, okay, but what is that attached to? It was a pagan practice. Exactly. Christianity and paganism, we can't coexist. That's why there's a strong separation between Catholicism and Christianity. There's a reason why there was Orthodox Christians and Catholics, because Catholics mixed that paganism. We got to separate from the pagan. Pagan is not of God. We got to separate it. That's why I don't claim denominations. I don't claim none of that. At the end of the day, if the word says not to do it, I'm not going to make an imaginary rule to do it. Thanksgiving, I don't even consider Thanksgiving as Thanksgiving. I just consider it as a time that we just eat and, you know, we don't celebrate the custom of it. We don't even do it as dinner time, whatever. We just do it as, we just all take a vacation. That's it. We're not even gonna, we don't even say happy Thanksgiving and stuff like that. We don't say Merry Christmas. We don't do Christmas where we live. We don't celebrate holidays. I'll say it to y'all, be like, hey, have a good holiday. But my family, we don't practice it because we know that there's pagan symbology behind those things.
Like
So-
it was just on Pinterest. It was like an alien.
So you just
picture.
like this. So you're someone like if you just like something, you just
do
you
it.
go with the flow.
Yeah, I am a little spontaneous.
Okay. So you're saying you want to cover them up with more tattoos, or are you leaning more towards like laser removal?
Oh no. So my chest, I actually plan on getting a biblical angel cover up on my whole chest. So that's my
Okay.
plan. And then the one on my shin, that's
Yep, there was a response there. The Bible says we weren't supposed to make depictions of the things of heaven and engrave ourselves with, like, we're not supposed to put Jesus on us. We're not supposed to put the angels on us. We're not supposed to put what we think God is on us. We're not supposed to put those things on us.
the Oni mask that I want to get rid of. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I might black out that whole bottom half of my leg. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So with you, moving your life towards, following Christ and things like that, do you attend church or are you still working your way up to that? Like, how is this change in
Um,
your life happening?
so I actually I did have, okay, so I had a home church.
Mhm.
I was doing Bible study before service, then going to service, and then doing Bible study every single every single Thursday
Right.
with the people I did Bible study with on Sundays, except instead of with our actual teacher, it was just all us young adults.
Okay.
There ended up being just some unfortunate miscommunications that kind of led to some uncomfortability and things of
Mm-hmm.
that such. That, you know, yes, it kind of hurt me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still kind of dealing with that with them and stuff. And that's like a whole nother story, but I did find another church that I did attend and I love it. I've been traveling a lot,
Mhm.
obviously. I'm in California right now. So I've been watching the online service, but once I
Okay.
get back to Oklahoma, then I'll be back active, like going every Sunday and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so church is a big thing for me. My son comes to, like, he goes to church as well. They have like a kid Bible study that he goes
That's
to.
good.
So,
Hmm.
um, yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, no, church and studying the Bible is really big for me. And I'm not extremely knowledgeable, but I do take pride in the way that I do study and the questions that I do have and the
Mm-hmm.
work that I have done
Yeah,
and
you
I've
should.
definitely
Good.
come along.
And as believers, we should applaud the hunger or the desire to pursue God, right? So everything, the feedback we're giving on this spiritual stuff, it's not to attack her. It's not that. It's we gotta make sure that as we all are walking, if Alex falls and stumbles over a log, it's up to her to let other believers know, hey, there's a log right there. Be careful, right? Because it's evil for you to stumble over something and then not say anything to anybody else and then watch them stumble. If you experience it, if you do all these things, share that message, let them know, hey, don't do this like I did this.
Now, people are willing to listen, and that's a whole different thing.
Right.
So,
Now, if they don't want to listen, like she said, that is a different thing. So it's up to her. I'm glad she found a church home. I pray that church home treats her right. Please treat her right.
Long way and it's only gonna transform even more, I may take out all my piercings. I don't know what growth in Christ looks like. It's not
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
supposed to have a specific appearance. It's supposed to have
Come
a
as you are.
specific type of feeling, and with that feeling comes the physical change. So
Yeah,
Amen.
growth in Christ is amazing.
it
Right.
is. It's
So,
beautiful. I've never felt so happy for just like existing.
Right.
So
right.
Now, how long have you been on this journey? When did it start? What is there a moment that it just sat you were sitting there and it kind of just hit you? Like, how did this come to be and when?
yes, yes. I would say probably like March, April
Okay.
time
Okay.
frame. So just this year. Um, and like the thing is, I'm not gonna lie, like my life has been a lot. Like I have been through abnormally a lot of things that the average person probably one should never have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and two probably wouldn't even go through just within their whole lifespan. A lot has happened, especially, I had a young mom, so I'm sure you can guess the things that come with that and stuff. And um but I finally the thing is when other people do things to you, it's easier to forgive in a way.
Mhm.
It's really
Mm-hmm.
weird. And I know that seems twisted, but what I mean by that, and maybe not even forgive, but it's easier for you to like push it aside. Like,
mhm.
and just so you don't necessarily feel all the emotion of certain trauma
Mm-hmm.
because you had no control. I didn't have control over a lot of the things that happened, so I was able to kind of disregard a lot. Um, but then I made a choice that absolutely destroyed me. I literally, like, out of everything I've ever been through in my whole life, and I've been through a lot, like, I promise, it's absolutely abnormal what I've been through. And it took me making a decision that like I picked to do this choice, and it's just I couldn't even look at myself. I couldn't look at myself. And one day I like fell to the floor and I just like was cradling myself. And I was like begging to God. I was like, I can't do this. And like it gets me emotional thinking about it because I remember how that felt. And I literally was like begging him. Like I was begging and I didn't even know who I was begging to, you know? Like I believed in God. I knew about Jesus. I knew about it, but I didn't know who I was like literally begging to. Like I was begging for help. Like I there's not even a full like I couldn't even just fully describe how just destroyed I was. Like completely just very major rock bottom. I think that me making a choice I couldn't face kind of just was a catalyst to unlock a whole bunch of like a floodgate of pain from what my whole life has been. And it just like I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it by myself, you know? Because I know I've seen uh, there's not a lot of comments that bring up my son just because that wasn't super talked about, but my son's father is also deceased, so it really is just me
Sorry
and
to
my
hear
son.
that.
Dang. Hey man, I hope people haven't been bringing up her child. I think this is the first time I'm hearing about her child.
Kids need to be off limits.
Yeah.
Period. You don't have any right to speak on anyone's children, whether they're good or bad. Leave kids out of the internet, out of your mouth, out of people's comments. No.
Yeah.
So it's just I made a choice, and you know there's I couldn't deal with it. I was in a denial for a lot of stuff, and I finally just like I gave in to God, if that makes sense. Like I accepted that I am not strong enough to do it alone.
You're not
I
supposed
can't
to.
Yeah.
walk through fire by myself,
Right.
you know?
You're not supposed to do it alone. God didn't intend for man to be alone, period. So the things that we experience in life, if we experience it alone, it's because that's what we choose. Like God, he has never left. He's never gone to another side. Like he's been where he needed to be that whole time. But sometimes you got to go through stuff in life to really understand or know like, oh, like God's never faltered. He's never left me. He's always been on my side. There's things that you probably experienced that could have ended up a lot differently for you had he not been there in the ways that he was. And even if people feel like God is not with them and stuff like that, there are thousands of angels fighting for us every single day. There are thousands of angels fighting for people that don't even believe in God. That's how much love he has for his creation in general. People that choose not to believe in him, they are still protected by the grace of God. So I really pray for her in her walk, because I feel like she's gonna do a whole like 180 360, and it's gonna look so much different a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Like she's gonna be she's already a changed person. And you know, as other believers continue to look on and see people go through their walk, encourage them. Don't discourage them because their walk doesn't look like how your walk is looking or how it is or anything like that, because that will push people away from Christ. The smallest comment, the smallest things that you wouldn't even think would offend someone, which we all have a hard time dealing with. We are, as people, we're very offensive people, whether it's intentionally or not. So just be careful how you talk to people. Lift her up, pray for her, give her words of encouragement, give her, scriptures that she can look up she can apply to her day to day, and pray for her son, because he's watching his mother go through things and evolve as a human being, and it's only going to make him stronger and better and want to do the will and the grace of God that we're all intended to do, if that's who you believe in. So yeah, I'm happy for her.
I can't. So
Well,
yeah.
sorry to hear about your son's father.
Yeah.
And God is amazing. when you feel like you're stuck or lost, I always say seek out to God, because, he will never leave his children.
100%. He'll
And
never forsake us.
Mm-hmm.
100%. I also want to say as well, right? Did you feel like when you found God, maybe something started making sense to why you have been processing the things that you've been processing the way you have? Did you feel like, oh, I did this because of different reasons, and it all just started making sense to you that, God is kind of putting you back into line? Did you feel that?
Yeah, I think that when you ask for the veil to be removed, it'll be removed. I think that once I truly accepted Christ and God into my heart, that a lot of things that I didn't understand finally made sense. A lot of things that I was angry about, I was no longer angry about. A lot of people I couldn't forgive, I finally forgave. I literally can't explain the understanding that just like overcame my whole being, you know? I went again from anger, just confusion, desperation, depression, just all these things to I be what's
Peace,
up, you know?
love.
Like there's not
Mhm.
and even so my I have even other, again, my life has been a lot from my son to his dad to just everything. I have a lot I could be angry about.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I have so much I could be angry about. I could be angry about my childhood. I could be angry about my dad. I could be angry about some other people. I could be angry about even the things that have happened to my son. Like, I could be angry about so many things, but instead, I'm just rolling with the punches. I'm walking through the fire, and I feel like it doesn't burn that much because God is such a strong cloak. Like God is stronger than any fire, any flood, anything. So,
Mm-hmm.
and
Because you got to cast your cares on him. Cast your problems, cast your worries, cast it on him. Like Alex said, we're not meant to be alone, and we'll never be alone. People don't understand that hell is not some place that these cartoons depict, where it's like, oh, it's all this, and there's a big red devil down
Right.
there two stepping.
Right.
Hell is separation from God.
Yes.
Hell is when God moves His presence away from you.
Yes.
Then when He does that, all the things that God has been keeping away from you, protecting you from, even the people that don't believe. There's atheists that walk on this earth and they believe that, oh, the God doesn't exist, blah, 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 blah. They don't even realize that He has had a veil of protection over them the entire time. And hell is when God finally says, you know what? You don't want me. You don't want anything I offer you. You don't want to be in my home. You don't want to be the child that I created you to be. That's perfectly fine. I will leave you to what you want.
Yeah.
And He pulls His presence from you.
And people got to understand the times that we're living in. The world is intentionally trying to pull us away from God. And a lot of people are taking the bait. If people think what we're experiencing now is terrible, you haven't even experienced the worst of the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Because separation from God is truly the worst thing that you can ever experience in life.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, we probably kind of like felt it. We're disconnected in some way, shape, or form. But the difference is he was still there for you and accessible for you to, get to him. But when he draws back, when he pulls out from the race and he goes on, all you're going to see is him in the distance, and you can't reach out for him anymore. Don't miss that window of opportunity to get to know God and get to know Christ and really, add them to your life.
and I notice whenever I leave it to God, it works out better than what I thought it could be, and I've noticed that just on my journey, the worst case has never happened,
Exactly.
and I've had, even though people think the things that have happened with me are worst case, it's not, it's not. Like, my son is still here.
Right.
I'm still here.
Right.
Like, my life could be very different right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very grateful. And I continue to tell him I'm grateful. I don't think I'm perfect. I think I have so much to work on. And even in the way that I glorify him, I'm excited to see how much better I can get with that. Like, I'm just, God's really changed my life. And I just
Amen.
happen to still have piercings and tattoos. So,
I mean, like you said, you just started this journey, and I think a lot of people think that once
Oh, you emotional?
I'm getting emotional. I'm not trying to get emotional,
No,
but
it's fine. That's
yeah,
we get-
I'm genuinely like happy for her. Like I would hope and pray that everybody gets to experience God, and if those that are like kind of weary and stuff like that, like I understand it, because like we don't people typically don't go to things that they don't fully understand, but it's important to fellowship with people that know the word, that can help you, that can help you get an understanding, get your footing and stuff like that. Like, it truly is a different experience, like living your life with God and living your life for God. Like, to like with God is like him he's on your side. But living your life for God, all of this, your flesh, your spirit, that belongs to him. So every day that you get up, every day that you do something different, you want to please him. You want to make sure that you're being the best example of Christ as you can be, because it's hard out here for people. It's hard out here. You never know who you're going to meet, and because you embody and you carry that faith, and you carry that strong discernment and like loyalty and gratification and love for God, you don't know who you're going to meet in life, and it's going to pour into you. He poured into me at a time in my life where I needed it the most. And I've had my struggles with my faith, not because God did anything wrong, but because I had to fight off so many other things in my life that I didn't understand was attacking me. Not because I did anything wrong myself per se, but I let ignorance and just like other influences and things that look cool and sound cool influence me to think like the life that I live is just for me alone. No, the life that I live is for God, because he could take it in a split second. There's so many people in this world that didn't even get to make it to today. So the fact that she's overly grateful and appreciative that she made it to today, because tomorrow's not promised, considering all the things that she's went through in life, that's true love and appreciation for God.
once you've decided, yes, I'm going to give my life to Christ, I'm not going to be a follower of Christ, that like everything you were doing before is going to change in one day.
yeah,
And I
it's
think
not
that's
how it
where a
works.
lot of people get confused, because following Christ is a journey. Even when
Yeah.
you're born again, you're saved, you're going to church every Sunday, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're still learning and you're still changing every single day. God's always working within us every single day. So it's not an
Exactly.
overnight thing,
It's not. And honestly, like, so I got baptized, and if you guys watch the video where I got baptized, and when you hear how he talks about me, like, I have taken my faith so serious. It doesn't mean that I practice the things in 100% perfection, right? Like, again, I'm still human. I'm still gonna fall short, but it's the fact that I rather fall.
Man falls 7 times, but a wise man gets up 7 times.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We're not going to be perfect. There was only one person who was perfect, and we killed him. Because we couldn't accept the fact that the perfect man was trying to tell us about our imperfections.
Right.
And we killed him. And even when we killed him, he still said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, you're not going to be perfect. Nobody is requiring you to be perfect. As Christians, we have to hold each other to the fire. Iron sharpens iron. Sometimes the comments other believers give believers, it may sting. But if that's what the Holy Spirit wants them to let you know, sometimes you got to take that sting, because it's better for you to take that little bite or that nip than to have to lose an entire limb over it.
And a lot of y'all don't realize you're already doing the hardest part. Getting back up is the hardest part. because it's real easy to let the enemy just do what he's already been doing to you, and you just give up and you don't even try to make any attempt or effort to keep pushing and keep thriving and keep going for the next day. What I learned was every time you have to get back up, just know your journey is going to get harder. You're going to be tested more. You're going to be tried more. But at the end of the day, it's all worth it. For the love and the works of the Lord, it's all worth it. And you're already doing the hardest part. You struggled today, but you made it through today, and now you're amped up and you're geared and you're ready to get up for the next day.
Short than not try, you know. So and just like you said, it's not overnight. I mean, I literally, the fact that I took out 5 piercings, ask any one of my mentors. Any one of my mentors, do you think she would have took those out? No, not at all. And I took out 5, you know? And that's why I tell people I don't know. I don't have all the answers. God has the answers, and now that I'm learning about discernment and the difference between conviction and condemnation, now that I'm learning the feeling difference, now my choices are starting to change, you know? And that's just maturing in faith. I'm not gonna, I've been wearing pants to the gym. Okay, that's a big deal for me. Right?
Okay,
That's
modesty.
a big deal. You know, so it's just little, and it may seem like little things, but if you guys knew how hard I would defend behavior just because, well, it's not so bad. It's not my responsibility. No, sometimes we have to own up, be mature, and be like, if we want to be perceived different, we do have to adapt and be and change and grow. That doesn't mean we take away from who we are. It means that our new identity is Christ and not this human physical form, you know?
Right. When you have Christ in your life, you have peace.
Yeah.
You know, so walking with Christ, you know, just having God in your life is something that means more than what you think it means. You know, when I come to the reunion and I praise God every single time, I mean it. You know, and I will never be shy to praise God.
Yeah, shoot, I cry to God too. I be in the shower just ugly crying snot everywhere, you know, and for good and bad reason. You know, I never ask why, but sometimes I'm like, I need a little extra today. You know, I feel like it's okay to come to him for
Anything.
anything, any reason.
You seek out to God for anything.
Yeah.
All right, Sativa, it was good having you on this platform. Thank you for coming to share, you know, your stories and stuff like that. It was, I'm sure a lot of people are gonna really get to know you more. From this episode.
Walking testimony.
Yeah, and that's what I'm excited for. They would just come and start a ruckus. I'm sorry, but I'm super grateful for the opportunity. I mean, I didn't get a match, but that's okay. I feel like that it still has been a great opportunity to break the stigma of people who have kind of a different aesthetic, and how we're so articulate, God-fearing, and hard workers, and our look doesn't take away from that in any shape or form. So, yeah.
I want everyone to let me know in the comments down below if you think that I should bring her back on the show. So comment down below if you think that I should bring her back on the show. But yeah, thank you for coming on the platform.
Yes.
We shall see if we shall have you back. But it definitely was something that a lot of people will learn from.
Definitely.
So we thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And again, sorry about the little gremlins in the background.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining this episode of BM Talks to Them, and we will catch you all next time.
Hey, shout out to BM Talks to Them. Thank you for spreading the message of God. This was a roller coaster because it started off with jokes and humor and Dr. Umarism. But at the end of the day, if Christ needs to take over and he needs to reign in the situation, we have no right to stop what he's trying to do. So we wish her nothing but the best. We don't even believe in luck. We wish blessings and we wish her that she stays steadfast. Whatever church home she's in, I pray that you guys keep
Treat her with care, bro.
iron sharpens iron. Sharpen
Yeah.
that iron to the point where she's an unbreakable sword. Right. You guys, at the end of the day, Flock Talk will be dropped tonight. Lot of biblical stuff happening this week, and I'm just grateful for that.
Yeah. People need it.
Remember that we are works in progress, just like everybody else.
Yeah,
if
we're not
anything,
perfect.
I commit more sins than people do every day. And look at that. That's the battery turning us off.
Bye.
All right, y'all. Peace.